everyone, welcome back to Crochet and Crime, where I crochet and I tell true crime stories. Today we'll be talking about Randy Stair, otherwise known as the Danny Phantom Fanboy Killer. This story does get pretty graphic, and it does go into a lot of detail about like mental illnesses and gender dysphoria and other things like that, so if you are uncomfortable with anything like that, I suggest you click away from this video. And yeah, with that, let's get into it. Growing up, Randy Stair never really liked to socialize or anything like that, so he never really had any type of friends. He actually considered his younger brother his friend instead of like his brother. And Randy had a very dark view of the world and how he thought of things, and this came along with him in his teenage years. And he had a very edgy, way of thinking. He never actually grew out of this phase. He actually carried it throughout his career, which we will get to in a bit. And he was watching horror movies and reading like scary stories and dark, gruesome, awful stories online just for the shock factor. In 2008, when Randy was 16 years old, he created a YouTube channel called Pioneer Productions, where he had a name for himself called Andrew Blaze. He actually wanted to change his name to Andrew, and he got that name from Hurricane Andrew, and he got the last name Blaze just because he thought it was cool. But anyways, in November of 2009, Andrew posted his first ever YouTube video, which was a comedy sketch. Those videos were actually quite popular for bigger creators, or from bigger creators like Smosh and Rhett and Link, who were really big in like the early 2000s. And Randy started to post more and more of these sketches, and all of these videos had only 3 characters: Randy, or Andrew, Whale, and Froggy. Whale was a stuffed animal that had a very sexual, gross type of personality, and he was pretty much a pedophile. And Froggy was just a small little character that Randy had small arguments with. Randy enrolled himself into a community college, and his dad had actually gotten him a job at his work, which was a supermarket. Randy made friends, and he was doing amazing. And in 2011, Randy was accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, which meant he would be getting money for his videos. And Ray William Johnson, who was huge in 2011, like, he was a household name, actually featured some of Randy's videos in his video, which was like a huge thing back then. Like, if Ray William Johnson was talking about you and your content, that was like life-changing. Randy was doing awesome, but it was never really enough for him. He always wanted more subscribers or more viewers, and so he made like a second channel. He posted more on like different platforms about his videos, but he kind of gave up on those ideas and kind of just sulked in his room that he wasn't getting what he wanted. And so in 2013, when Randy was 21 years old, he had a very rough year. His brother's best friend died in a car crash, and a few months later, Randy was in a car crash. And then he lost another friend from college, and from these traumatic events he started having unaliving thoughts, and he had an obsession with death and what happens when you do pass on. Randy then turned to his favorite show, Danny Phantom, and Randy connected so well with the character named Ember McLean. She was a very badass, rebellion, rebellious ghost girl, and Randy was like, yep. He began falling in love with this cartoon girl, and he wrote about her in his journal. And eventually Randy found himself wanting to dress like her and in other types of women clothing. And he said Ember helped him understand himself, and that he began to have gender dysphoria and would wear feminine clothes and sometimes makeup to make himself feel comfortable. Randy became slightly delusional and said that him and Ember were dating and that they both loved each other. He made fan art of Ember, and he created a animated spin-off series about Ember, and it was called Ember's Ghost Squad, where while he was creating this, he fell for another animated girl, Mackenzie. He slowly left Pioneer Productions, but left it with a bit of a bang, and he posted a series where he would kill off Froggy and Whale because Ember told him to. Randy's delusions actually never stopped there. He actually wrote in his journal that his soul wasn't meant to be there. His soul was meant to be with Ember and the Ghost Squad in a different dimension or universe. And he also said he felt trapped on Earth, and that something about his soul, like whenever you die, your soul is supposed to go where it's meant to be, or it like goes into a different dimension, but his soul somehow got trapped on Earth, and that he needed to go back to Ember and become a part of her ghost squad. Randy then began to obsess over the Columbine massacre, and he said that he respected the men that caused it and felt their pain. Randy continues to obsess over the Columbine killers, and it got so bad he actually planned his own death like the shooters did their victims. So he made a plan, he made tapes about his feelings, he made 17 or so hours worth of footage of just stuff that was on his mind, both of his spiritual beliefs and his hatred towards his father and his obsession over Ember and Mackenzie. And yeah, he would just talk about all of his feelings and how he wanted to end his life so bad. And his mom had actually bought him a shotgun. It was either for his birthday or for Christmas, one of those two holidays. But then again, she didn't know he was going to be a danger to himself or others, and she thought, oh, my son would totally love this shotgun. So she gave it to him. And he actually flipped a coin 3 different times to see if he was going to unalive himself at home or at work. And he flipped once, and it was at work. He flipped twice, and it was at home. And then he flipped a 3rd time, which would decide whether or not he would do it at home or at the supermarket. And it said to do it at the supermarket. So that was his plan. He was going to go to his job, his night shift, and he would shoot everybody and then shoot himself. So on June 7th of 2017, Randy started his night shift, and he uploaded his last Ember animation, which was about a school shooting, and he put a tribute to himself in the video. Then he covered up all of the exits so no one would escape, and he grabbed his shotguns and locked the final door. Victoria Brong was a co-worker of Randy's, and he written about her in his journal saying she deserved to suffer, and she was his first victim. He shot her 4 different times. His next victim was Brian Hayes, who was another co-worker, and he also shot him 4 times. Then his last victim was Terry Lee Sterling, and he shot him while he was trying to run away, and one of the workers actually locked herself in a storage closet and called the police, so the police were actively on their way. And that worker, Kristen, actually managed to escape through the front of the store. She was able to force it open and run off. Randy was still inside, but he had already killed everyone, so he decided to just cause chaos or not cause chaos, but he made a huge mess and he started to shoot literally everything. Like the different foods on the shelves, different drinks on the shelves, different like just random products on the shelves, and he just made a big mess. And then Randy went to the deli counter and shot himself in the head. The police arrived, and Randy's autopsy actually said that he was dressed as a woman. He had makeup on, and underneath his clothes he wore a bra and underwear, like feminine underwear. And he never came out and said that he was a girl, but that in his next life he was going to be one, like no matter what. Like not in this life he would be a woman, but in the next life with Ember and the Ghost Squad. I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be right back. Alrighty, here's the finished product. It is a little baby blanket for my baby cousin. And yeah, this was actually really fun to make. My hands hurt a lot because it's a solid granny square. It doesn't have like the little holes in it, well, unless you like spread these guys. But it has the little things still. Anyways, so this story was absolutely crazy, and it took place on this platform right now, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and share this video to all of your friends or your demons in your closet or the demon under your bed. Yay! Alright, have a good night or day. Bye!